YouTube friends, I'm going to show you this bit of film now that I did at the weekend and just carry on talking and do this as a little voiceover while you watch where I went on Sunday. So a year ago, and I'll leave a little iCard in the top right hand corner, I went to this place, Halls of Heddon, which is where they grow all these amazing dahlias and chrysanthemums. They're a specialist nursery for growing these things. They're absolutely beautiful. And so this is their fields where they grow all these different varieties. And so I go every year at this time of year so that I can check to see what they look like this year. And every year I find someone who's working in the garden and ask them. This guy's picking a bunch of dahlias for me. I always ask if they'll cut me a bunch of dahlias. And so I just asked this guy, he's the boss actually, he's the head guy. And I asked him, would he pick me dahlias, beautiful big dahlias in pinks and purples, and like he just said there, a few whites as well. And so while he was doing that, I just carried on looking round at the dahlias. I'm always amazed at this place. I'm absolutely amazed by the riot of colour, all the different varieties, yeah, it's such a beautiful place. And then these little tiny pom-pom dahlias, which I really, really like. And this is a garden centre as well, so they specialise in chrysanthemums and dahlias, but they also sell other plants as well. And what I was interested in, as well as my big bunch of flowers, was some bulbs. And so inside the shop then, all masked up and socially distanced, I was interested in looking at all the different tulips and daffodils, but some crocuses and some little dwarf varieties. I like small varieties of things, little petite ones. So I was picking a mixture of these. And then I went to the checkout and bought my flowers and my bulbs. And then I went home. So that's my trip to Halls of Heddon for this year, with a wonderful bunch of pinks and purples, dahlias to come home and sit in my kitchen. But I've also brought loads of little bulbs. And so let's go and plant those, shall we? So look, Barry's here.
Hello.
And I've shut Eileen away because Eileen really does like to come and attack Barry, but she's not going to be allowed to.
She's my best friend, really.
Well, she is. So Barry helps me in the garden do the heavy stuff that I can't do. You know, I can come along afterwards and plant the bulbs like you know, in a ladylike way, but I can't do this heavy weeding and all these barrows and all of that. I just can't do it. And if I was left to do it, it wouldn't get done. So I'm going to bring you in a bit closer so that we can see what Barry's up to. So basically what was going on here in this area here, I really like this area. It was choked full of weeds, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of ground elder, which is the bane of my life.
It is, isn't it? It just grows. It goes under the ground and pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
And this garden's had it for all the 34 years that I've lived here. So it's unlikely we're going to get rid of it now.
Honestly, it's a problem in every garden I go to, Kate.
It is. So, and then what I like about the way Barry works is I just say this job, and then I come back, it's done, and I haven't had to come back and say how to do it or what to do. You just like getting on by yourself, don't you?
I like getting stuck in beautiful surroundings as well. So
And we were lucky with the weather today.
Aye, very lucky, very lucky.
Yeah. Hi, Norma. Hi, Prudence. Hi, Rita. I'm going outside now. Anybody want to come? Oh, hi, Sadie. So these are the bulbs I got from Halls. And when I was buying them, the guy said about these ones, these unpromising looking nuggets of stuff are aconite. Aconite's a lovely little yellow flower, very early. So these are all aconite. Yeah, winter aconite, so that's how early they are. But he did say to me that it'd be better if I soaked them before I put them in the ground. So I've just got some water in this pot here, and I'll soak them and plant those last of all, so they've got a chance to absorb some water, so that when they hit the ground they won't have quite so much establishing to do, I think. So there are 20 altogether I bought 2 packs, and so my plan with them is I'm going to put these in this little Buddha garden here. You can hardly see that that's what it is because everything's so overgrown. So one of the things I'll do as well, I think, while I'm out here, and it's a beautiful day, it's just a bit cold, I might clip back some of this what's it called, hypericum, that's been growing up the I'll tell you about the hypericum. I'll just tip you around so you can see it. There you are, this thing here. So it's got a lovely yellow flower and a very poisonous berry. So I planted that so that it would grow up the apple tree, and I thought it was a honeysuckle. It's a hypericum. It's got pretty flowers, but the berries are very, very poisonous indeed. So by the time Agnes is here and walking around, I'll snip all of them off. Or we'll just do a big thing about don't eat these. So the aconite are soaking. The Martha bought this for John a few years ago, and I used to have a pond, and it used to sit in the pond. I haven't got a pond now. You can just sit out there for now. There's a lovely area here, all of this area here, and then a couple of pots up on the terrace. One's an old sink and one's a half barrel. And my plan is to put some of the bulbs in there. So what I bought was, I mixed them all up as well because I don't mind them all being mixed up. There's a lot of dwarf tulips, little short tulips, and crocuses in there. Some more crocus in here, and then there's a bag here. What's this? Oops, just dropped one. Some more crocus there. Oh no, hang on. This one's got a label. Let's see what this says. Yeah, it's crocus. It's called Jean Dark. So there's a load of crocuses and dwarf tulips. I like bulbs, I like all flowers, but I like short bulbs, dwarf ones. So what I've also got here is some, these are called Narcissus Baby Moon, and these are short, tiny daffodils. And I've got, these are my favourites, grape hyacinth. So I've got quite a lot of grape hyacinth in little packs. I've had these for a little while. I bought these a week ago or so. And again, a little baby moon. So there's 2 packets of small daffodils. In fact, there's 3 packets of small daffodils. We'll make a little, I don't know, a little, what's that? What am I doing? We'll make a little area. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And then 2 lots of dwarf tulips. Okay, let's have a bit of a plan. Okay, so what about then? So we've got this area here. I'll bring you over here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay then, so this area here, which in the summertime has these beautiful perpetual cornflowers, and there's 3 of them. Looks like there's only 2 of them now. But that's okay. The other one's probably going to come back. So we've got narcissus, little red tulips, we'll leave those for now, and little, we'll use those ones. So my plan is then, is to open all of these and tip them out, because these look better if they're planted really naturally and not, you know, not all in serried ranks. They look much better if they're mixed up. So this semicircular bit here, I'm going to mix them up with dwarf tulips, little daffodils and grape hyacinth. That's my plan. Now I can see quite clearly which is which with the bulbs, but I think I'll tip them all out for now. Now, as far as I know, I'm no expert on planting bulbs, but if you're doing a very big area, this isn't. What this suggests is that you just throw your bulbs across the area and then plant them where they fall, so that they will be more natural looking, like they've been grown there by accident. And the other thing is that when you're planting bulbs, like this one's one of the daffodil bulbs, you should plant them the same depth as they are tall, so that this should go into the ground that far, and so that means that the smaller ones are a little bit nearer the surface. Because there's this thing I remember years ago being told that if you plant them too deep, they'll be blind, and that doesn't mean that, I don't know what that really means. It just means they won't make it to the surface and grow. Well, you want that to happen, don't we? So I've tipped them all out. I'm going to mix them all up, because I just like this whole area to be all of these bulbs. Exactly. So let's do it. And I'll kind of weed these roots out as I'm going, because this is ground elder, and although Barry did a fantastic job of making it possible for me to actually get in here and plant, there's still loads of ground elder. So I'll chuck that in the wheelbarrow as I find it. Okay, let's do this. So not too deep, and also, of course, the root end and the tip, get them the right way up. Obviously, you know that. I don't know why I'm telling you how to plant bulbs. There now. Okay, so we'll just do little clumps of the same one together. I'm just going to do this, guys. Now, while I can still remember where they are, because of course they're all buried now, I'm going to open another of those packs of daffodils and put a huge drift of daffodils at the back there and there, so that as they grow up, there can be daffodils at the back. And then in the front here, there'll be blue and red and a few daffodils at the front. So we'll look forward to seeing what this looks like next year. So I can remember where I've planted those. But let's go up onto the terrace now and plant some of the couple of tubs that there are up there. I'll push these in where they fell. That'll be fine. And they can just grow where they fell, and they can be crocuses just growing naturally out of here. That'll be fine. Because I've loosened the soil, so they're pushing in really easily. Don't really need much more than that, so that they'll be very natural looking. I'm just making sure as I push them in that I'm getting them the right way up and getting them to about that depth that we talked about, just the depth of the bulb itself, which isn't, for these little crocuses, this isn't very deep at all. Okay, so how long did that take? 2 minutes. Let's do the sink with the dwarf tulips. So this is an old sink. In fact, I'm going to chop this back a bit as well, so that you can actually see and get into it. And again, this is full of really good soil. Sometimes I plant mesembryanthemum in here, or nasturtiums. because they look lovely all contained in here. But this is just going to be a riot of dwarf tulips in this whole tub. And then, as I say, I'll get the secateurs and cut this spirea back. So we'll just put these in any old where, root end down, about as deep as the bulb. I think I've said that already. And we'll just put them where they landed. And then next spring, remember this, and we'll see what this actually looks like. I'm looking forward to it. It's a leap of faith planting bulbs, isn't it? These little bits of life all packed up inside there that teaches this little bit of nonsense to be a tulip. And I'm just going to shove it in the ground like that and forget about it. Here we are on the very beginning of October, which is a very good time to be planting bulbs. And so there they all are. Carefully selected bulbs all disappeared underground now. That's the end of them. There we go. And like I say, I'm going to cut this back now. In fact, I might do it right now while I'm thinking about it. Going to bring out the big guns. This is always how I garden. I think I'll just trim that back a little bit with a pair of secateurs. The next thing you know, I'll be getting a chainsaw and coming in and cutting this back. But if I cut this back, and it can stand to be cut back, it really can. What that means is I can open up this area here and plant some daffodils in here as well. Because there's flower beds underneath here, but you would never know it. When I get a mood like this on me, the garden better beware. It looks a bit lopsided now, so I might come out later, take the other half down. Don't worry about the spirea. Don't worry about it, it's going to be fine. Gardening is warfare, just remember that. Cup of tea. Where I've taken back this spirea, there's a bed in front of here. I mean, this is ground elder that Barry was talking about, and then some big stones. But if I move the stones out of the way, it's about 2 foot wide. I get loads of autumn bulbs in this autumn that will be ready in the spring. So I think I'm going to spend a few minutes, now that I've cut this back, I'm going to spend a few minutes weeding in here. But I'm going to weed this. I haven't got any more bulbs left now, because I've put them all in. I put the aconite in just now. And so what I'm going to do then is weed through here, see what comes back and weed again, and then plant a few more tulips and daffodils and things. That's my neighbour that you can hear shouting there. This is an exciting day for them because they're getting a puppy, little black and white puppy Yeah, ground elder. Horrible stuff. And then I think as well, because this bit of this little flower bed, it's only small, what is it, 2 foot by 3 foot, not even that. Yeah, it's very impoverished, the soil's really poor. So I'm going to put some new compost in here as well, just to give it a bit of a boost.